Let's see here. All right, we have a couple moments before we get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of housekeeping, okay? Definitely make sure that your lines are muted, okay? Don't want to have any background noise or distractions happening on the call tonight. Want to make sure everyone is able to be totally focused and intentional on the call tonight. So, definitely make sure your line is muted, okay? Especially if you're in a situation where, like I said, you're trying to listen in while maybe you're at work or things are happening around you that you can't control, right? Go ahead and make sure you're muted because if you can hear it, we can hear it too if you come off mute. And again, we want to make sure that nothing is taken away or distracting from our speaker that's going to be joining us tonight and this exceptional training that's going to happen on the call tonight. So go ahead and make sure you have that mute button hit. Go ahead and make sure if you're in position to be on camera, we would love to see your faces. If you're not in position to be on camera, which I totally understand, definitely go ahead and hit that mute feature on the camera as well. Again, if you got stuff happening in the background, we don't need to see all of that. So if you're able to be on camera, awesome. If not, go ahead and hit that mute feature on your camera. And again, ladies and gentlemen, take these few moments as you're jumping on to make sure every single person in your entire organization that you're working with is on the line. If this person is on your team and they're wanting you to help them, they need to be on this call every single Monday night. That needs to be something that they are not missing, that they're making it a non-negotiable. And like I said, I understand sometimes people have work schedules, they cannot move around. Maybe they work that late shift. Go ahead and make sure they've got it scheduled in their calendar to come back and listen to the call, right? So that way they do not miss it. Because again, if you're not scheduling, it's not going to happen, right? So let me see who we have joining us in the chats. Let's see here. Let me
Recording in
scroll back. I
progress.
see Dr. Kenneth in DMT, Sylvie in Quebec, Canada, Amanda in Kansas City, Jasmine in Los Angeles, but she's in Bangkok right now. Welcome to the call. Gabby in Orlando, Florida, Emma in the DMV, Marva on the line. Excited for part two. That's right. This is part two. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to make sure you go back and listen to last week's part one of the training that our speaker is going to be sharing with us. Leroy in St. Louis, welcome. Jim in Locust Grove, welcome. Mark in Los Angeles. Tania, excuse me, in Puerto Rico, currently in Stafford, Virginia. Welcome, Kendrick in Jackson, Florida. Jose in South Florida. Kathy, Pete, welcome, welcome, welcome. Erica, Donnie Pips in New York, welcome to the line. Sekou in Maryland, welcome. Audra in South Florida, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have literally just moments, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started. So if you are fired up and excited to be here tonight, if you have been sitting on the edge of your seat since last week waiting for tonight's call, let me see some fire. Let me see some hearts in the chat, right? Get your energy ready for the training that is going to happen this evening. And the time, ladies and gentlemen, has come for me to step out of the way of greatness. The gentleman I have the honor and privilege of introducing to you, he's a family man. He's a military veteran, and he's been a successful entrepreneur for over 25 years. He is the author of Standing on the Shoulders of Multi-Million-Dollar Producing Giants. He has earned millions of dollars in three different industries, okay? And this is the fourth industry that he is going to earn multiple millions of dollars in, right? Not only has he done pretty well for himself, but he's always done what's best for his people and put them first. And I'm going to say, he didn't say, but I'm going to say, has helped them to make a lot of money, okay? He has a goal to help 10,000 families generate $5,000 per month in residual recurring income. But what I love most about him is he's the definition of integrity and character. He's one of the only people that's ever been and done every single thing he ever committed to me that he would be or do. So, ladies and gentlemen, give me some more hearts. Give me some more fire. Give me some 4 5s in the chat and help me welcome to the line someone I'm honored to call my coach, my mentor, and my friend, the VP of Sales himself, Mr. Sam Bean.
Hey, man, I feel like what was it? Warren Buffett, the guy who, Michael Buffer, just announced me. That was cold blood right there. I love that energy, that excitement. Thank you very much, Carly. I appreciate you guys. Guys, give us some love because that's a training in itself. You know, just introducing people, being able to host the platform, being able to, connect the audience with the speaker. You know, show us some love, guys. And so, for those of you who are really looking for that exposure, that visibility, I would actually strive to be a host and get on here and do some of these calls for some of these leaders, guys, because the people who've seen the most, they have the most credibility. So. With that being said, welcome to the Millionaire Mentorship Call. This is a exciting event. This is what they call part two or part do, as they say in the movies, right? And before we dive in that, we definitely want to make sure that you guys have something to write with, something to write on, something to record on, typewriter, laptop, something, because we want to make sure that you get what you came here for, all right? Before we do get started, I always want to, start off by paying respects and giving the just dues to the people who made this thing possible, guys. You know, when you look at this company, Bill Network, it wouldn't be here without the CEO and Mr. Winston Navarro and Mrs. Christina Navarro, two exceptional human beings and person who I'm excited right now. We've been working side by side over the last 3 weeks to interview and hire traders, and we got some things that are happening. Some of you guys are feeling the buzz and the energy right now around, what we're doing. Also, you have El Presidente, Mr. JC Rangel, and his wife Jennifer. Guys, they are doing some amazing things as well. He's actually, again, continuing to, expand the solar component that we actually have. He's bringing on more and more vendors as well as other opportunities as well. And Mrs. Rangel is out there helping everybody with these security systems because she's the boss. You know, she makes sure things go, make sure everything happens where it's supposed to. Okay. Then we have Ed Ayala and Mr. Julio Aquino. You know, these are leaders who are out there championing, the travel aspect of it, of Venti, right? Our guys got this thing humming, and I'm excited about that. As a matter of fact, I can't wait till we start having travel events, right? And so we can make that thing happen because I'm ready to travel to those events as well. Then you have Kim Beam and Mr. Ovi. They are again heading that water filtration operation, right, and making it happen. So, and then last but not least, guys, you have Fabian Tenorio and Mr. Roberto Tavares. These guys are working on behalf of Zeta, when it comes to the tech. And so, guys, what I'm saying is you have leaders working, right? Right now, we've made some mistakes as a company, and every company has made mistakes. And guess what? We're going to learn from every mistake that we make, right? And guess what? We're going to make some more. And but that's how you grow. That's how you make it happen. And we've also learned from a lot of the mistakes that other people have made, in the industry as well. So, but that's one thing about us. You know, we know for a fact that we're just going to keep on getting better for you, and and make sure that you guys have an opportunity that you can grow with. Okay, and so we're all growing together as a company, right? This is how you build a company, and we always tell people when you look at the millionaires that'll be here 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, um, maybe 15 to 20% of the people who got started with the company will be amongst those millionaires. Okay. And so, like I said, stick and stay and you'll get your pay. Also, want to make sure you guys are plugging into the channels, right? We here at Build, we have channels and things that you can actually plug into, whether it be for um, solar or any of the things that I mentioned earlier. But then you also have other people who are doing phenomenal jobs. We know Roxy, just got off of her call, and that was a trading call she just did, just knocked it out. We know Donnie Pips did his this morning, live trading this morning. He'll be doing a training tomorrow night. We just brought on a gentleman that you guys are going to get introduced to on Saturday by the name of JCL and out of Puerto Rico. And he's going to be one of our core members when it comes to trading as well. Then you have a gentleman that uh, Mr. Pacheco, and I do apologize. The Pacheco's guys, they're lighting this thing up right now. We're talking about having parties and events at their home with over 100 people coming in. They're lighting up the Latino market right now, and every event that they're having 100 or more people at that event, and they're also bringing on traders as well. As a matter of fact, Mr. Pacheco has a gentleman coming on the table who's going to be making it happen, bilingual, and he's got modules and things like that that he's going to be making available to us as a company. So again, make sure that you're plugging into the things that are happening, the events that are happening. And when you plug in, you get that information, you get that energy, you get the excitement, you get the help that you need, guys. Okay. One of the things that you do want to plug into, when I say plug into, make sure that on Saturday, right, we have events all through the week. You get the emails, you get the text messages. As a matter of fact, speaking of those emails and text messages, make sure you're opting in, okay, to those emails and text messages so the companies will not block it thinking that it's spam. Because some of you guys are getting it because you haven't, you're not getting them because you haven't opted in, and want to make sure we're compliant, but also want to make sure that there's nothing hindering you from getting that information. But speaking of information, on Saturday, the Super Saturday will be all the way live, guys. We have some things that we're going to be announcing, and Saturday, I will just tell you right now, you want to have about 300 people to 400 people on Super Saturday. There won't be a presentation in the beginning of the Super Saturday. It'll be all power. It'll be all impact. It'll be all a
You're muted, Mr. Bean.
Yes. Okay. So, guys, when y'all mute everybody out, I appreciate it. Just make sure you click me back in. All right. So Saturday is going to be a huge, huge motivational blitz, but it's going to be an event that we're going to have an exclusive announcement for 100 people who will be on that call. Okay. After that 100, we won't have anybody else take advantage of that situation. Probably for 2 to 4 weeks after that, and you'll just get a chance to watch as opposed while everybody else is participating. So again, the goal for Saturday is making sure we have over 300 people on that call and making sure that you take the market share. This is your first lesson of leadership for the night. If we're looking for 300, what you want to do is say, you know what? I want to make sure I got 10% of that 300. I want to make sure I have 30 people there, right? Or I want to make sure that I got 1% of it. I got me and three other people there. I got three people there. But either way, you want to make sure you make up some of the market share that's in that room. So when they make that announcement, the bigger your market share is, the bigger the opportunity of your group to actually capture it. Okay. And so if they're there, they're early, they're there with the numbers, and that announcement is going to be made. And you know there's only 100 slots that are going to be allowed when it comes to what we're going to be announcing. You don't want to miss it. You don't want them to miss it because there will be some regret lingering over, the company at that time. I'm telling you. Um, I always tell people, look, when I get the information, I get a hint. That's all I need. Just tell me. You don't have to give me any specific, content or context or facts or whatever. I'm not going to ask you what it's about. Just tell me where I need to be. If I trust you as a leader, I'm going to be there, right? And I'm gonna make sure my people are there because I don't want them to miss out either. Don't be selfish and just show up thinking that you're going to be able to relay the information back to them because by the time that call is over with, they will not be able to participate and they'll be upset at you and themselves because one, they should have been there, and two, you should have told them. Okay. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just transition on over into this call today because last week we had a really good time and we talked about, the next 6 months to a six-figure transformation. And we talked about, how, next 6 months you're going to either be, 6 months better or 6 months older, right? You're either going to have the same job, same income, right? Same everything, same mindset, same attitude, same whatever. But you won't be anything different because you didn't make those strides, you didn't make it happen. Okay. So let's make sure that we're on the same page, guys, because when you do that, you have all the same things. Um, this is what I want you to understand. What you don't change, you choose. Okay. So you've actually become that based on the fact that that's what you chose. You chose that. All right. So we stopped off at number 7. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this back up. And like I said, guys, this is coming from the Book of Being. This is coming from a seminar I went to years ago. And this is one of the foundational trainings that put me on my 7-figure path. All right. So, like Carly said, if you missed it, go back into the archives. It's in Facebook in the Facebook group, Build HQ, and you can watch it there. But number 8, guys, the eighth key to transformation is the power of environment. Hey, the power of environment. Your environment will either inspire you guys or it'll expire you. The next 6 months, you'll actually consciously design, the environment to support your goals, or you'll do the exact opposite. You'll continue to go out there and do nothing, and nothing will change, right? Change your environment, you change everything, guys. When you change your environment, you change your destination, right? Because again, you have people who are in your environment right now that are holding you back. You might even be the most, let's say, the most successful person in your environment. Right. And so for me, I like to be in rooms where I'm uncomfortable. I like to be in rooms where I am the poorest person, brokest person in the room. I make the least amount of money in the room. I like them because those are the rooms that make you stretch. Those are the rooms that make you uncomfortable. Those are the rooms that make you grow. As a matter of fact, those are the rooms that will make you be quiet and listen to the information that's being talked about, right? You start to grab those nuggets. Okay. But if you're in rooms where you're the smartest person in the room and you're listening to those conversations, you're regressing, you're not progressing. Okay. So you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Okay. And changing your environment is very, very important. So matter of fact, over the next 6 months, guys, I want you guys to maximize the resources in your hands right now. Okay. Let me share something powerful with you. Success is not about resources. It's about resourcefulness. Okay. It's not about what you don't have. It's about what you do or what you do have. And right now you guys have a lot to work with. Okay. Right now you have a platform where it costs you little to nothing to get started. It costs you little to nothing to actually run. And you have, a wealth of resources in your leadership and systems and things that you get a chance to sell. There are a lot of people out there looking for something like this, praying for something like this. And the challenge with that is, they don't know we exist because you haven't told them yet. Okay. So change your environment and focus on changing everybody else's. That's why I said make sure you're bringing people to the Millionaire Mentorship calls because, they may have seen a presentation, but they need to see some substance. They need to see, Carla Pacheco do a Millionaire Mentorship call. Okay. They need to see the JC Rangel do a millionaire mentorship call. They need to see some people really getting in here talking about something that really matters so they can see that they're part of a company that means something to people, right? As opposed to just trying to make money with or off of people. Okay. The ninth key to transformation, guys, is the power of standards. The power of standards, guys. You see, your life will always move in the direction of your standards. Okay. If you have high standards, your life will rise to meet them. If you have low standards, your life will, drop to meet them. Right. It's just that simple. Right. If you show, I can look at a person's lifestyle and I can tell you what their standards are. It's evident, right? So over the next 6 months, you must raise your standards in every area of your life. Okay, whether it be in your health, okay, whether it be your spirituality. Okay, you don't have to worry about a specific spiritual foundation, but spirituality. Period. You look at the book, The Millionaire Next Door. He talked about the one thing that all seven-figure earners have in common, right? And that they're all attached to something bigger than them, a force not of this world that they actually can lean on, and that helps them get through their day and helps them find their way, right? So raise your standards when it comes to spirituality, right? Raise your standard when it comes to, how you're, doing business, how you're building relationships, how you treat your kids, your wife, and I'm just telling you, the better you treat the people around you, and you start using it as a model to how you treat the people outside of your home, right? Set a standard. But when you raise your standards, guys, life transforms you. So, matter of fact, let me tell you something interesting about human psychology, right? We tend to live up to our expectations. So, if you expect little, you'll get little. If you expect a lot, you'll get a lot. You will get exactly what you expect. So, over the next 6 months, make sure you raise your expectations. Now, when you look at the power of rituals. This is kind of like a little bonus right here. The power of rituals. Your life is shaped by your daily rituals. What you do every day matters, and it matters a whole lot more than what you think, right? And so when you see people who are working out all day, every day, that's a ritual that's keeping them healthy, keeping them alive, right? Keeping them vibrant. And you look at a person who's, sitting down all day long, eating all day long, or drinking, or have bad habits, that's their rituals, right? And so over the next 180 days, what you want to do is you want to go out here and upgrade your rituals. Okay, you want to go out here and say, you know what? If I'm not exercising at all, let me start walking. Okay, if I'm not exercising at all, let me go ahead and put some weights, some little dumbbells by the couch or by the bed or whatever. Right, put some workout clothes by the bed so when I wake up, I can put them on. Or let me eat a little bit better. Let me just focus on, eating more salads or drinking more water, no soda, no alcohol, whatever. Let me fast a little bit. Right, let me go out here and read a little bit more. Let me go out here and study my presentations a little bit more. Let me go out here and actually work on my list and do the things that we talked about on the 8 point, 8.8 checker list, right? Whatever. So the 8 point accountability list. So let's just go over the next 180 days. Let me go over my game plan session that I got when I first got started, right? And let me just go ahead and actually do that this time instead of just getting it, being a part of the training and not doing anything at all, right? Let me go and be accountable for the next 180 days for all these different areas of my life and my business that I actually enhance, right? So create new rituals and you'll create a new lifestyle, right? The 10th key to transformation is the pound of 1 pound of accountability. Hey, I mentioned accountability a little bit earlier, but you see, when you're accountable to someone, your performance improves, right? And I'm gonna just tell you, when you make a promise to somebody, they literally are expecting you to keep that promise. And so there's an activity that I did in a boot camp many years ago when I was in another company. As a matter of fact, Carly, who introduced me, once she went through the exercise, she came to tears because she knew that once she did that exercise, it was going to impact her life, her mom's life, but she knew for a fact that she couldn't go back on it. And and that exercise was actually writing, you know, a it's like a promissory note, basically a contract. And in that contract, you had to tell that person what you were going to do for them in your business, right? I'm going to retire you, or I'm going to give you an allowance of $2,000 a month, or I'm going to pay off your house, pay off your car, whatever it is, whatever that promise it is, that contract, you want to make sure you write that contract. Now, you can break contracts all the time, credit card contracts, your car contract, get it repossessed, houses get foreclosed on. But when you make a promise to somebody, guys, it's a little bit different, when it comes to your life contracts. Okay. And so I remember when my wife was pregnant, I gave her my first son, I gave her a list, a contract that had everything on that thing that I was going to accomplish for her, right? Long list of stuff, right? And, we not only signed it, both of us, we got it notarized. Okay. And then, I literally wrote out a contract for my first son who wasn't here yet. He was in my wife's stomach. And I read the contract by putting my mouth on her stomach, reading the contract to him, let him know what I was going to do, for him with that business, right? And so I can't let my son down. It's my seed, my first seed. I came from poverty, so one of those things that you will never have to worry about, growing up in the situation I grew up in. You wouldn't have the life that resembles anything that I had coming up. All my hardships would be your learning lesson. So then, same thing. It worked with him. So when my wife got pregnant again, guess what I did? Another contract, right? And all those contracts, again, they're pretty much satisfied. And guess what, guys? When you write a contract to the people and you get those things accomplished, right? Make an amendment, right? Just keep on adding to the contract. But that accountability puts you in a position, right, where now you are expected to come through and now you will now shine. Now you were raised to that level, right? When Winston and JC, made me the VP of sales of the company, there's expectations behind it. I have to walk into that. I have to grow into that, or I have to exceed what they're expecting because they trusted the company, to me. So that's a responsibility, right? And so you rise to the occasion. Okay. And so all y'all right now, if you're not building 250, okay, if you're not scared, just text it to in the group. Say, I'll be building 250 by the end of the month. Text it to the WhatsApp chat, the main corporate group. I'll be building 250 by the end of the month. If you build a 250 or build a 500, say I'll be building 700 by the end of the month. Okay, make a declaration. Go out there and put yourself in a position where you create an accountability group with hundreds of people who are looking at you saying, okay, I see you. I'll be here to support you, right? So accountability. Number 11, the 11 key to transformation, guys. This key is called the power of focus. Okay. So when it comes to focus, what I learned about focus is that where the focus goes, your energy flows, right? When you look at focus, let's say following one course until successful, and when you look at Builder 250, okay, if you focus on Builder 250, guess what? You're going to be on that path until you hit it, right? If you focus on Builder 700, you'll get to Builder 250 based on the fact that you got a game plan for Builder 700. You got to go through it, right? And so whatever you're focusing on, it takes up space in your brain. It starts to grow. It starts to increase in size, right? And so that's the thing that you got to understand. If you focus on negative stuff, guess what? The negativity, okay, will take over. It'll consume you. If you focus on your fears, it'll take up occupancy and space in your spirit, and it'll mess you up. If you focus on successful things, you focus on, what your agenda is, what your obligation is, what your game plan is. Guess what? And you do this every day. Okay, that starts to grow. Now that energy starts to flow in that direction. You get excited, you get pumped up, and everything you do on a higher level, and people can now feel a different energy level in you, right? They feel a confidence in you as opposed to, someone who's fearful of something or who's unsure about something based on that stop, that focus. They're just doing it because, oh, by the way, we just happen to be standing in the line at the same time, or just happen to be at a family reunion at the same time. Just because you're here, I'm gonna talk to you. No, guys, focus. Okay. This business that we're in right now is this is focus, not hocus pocus. We're not gonna get lucky, right? This ain't magic. This is you, again, putting your eyeballs on your paper, on your goals, on your agenda, right? And making them manifest. That's what this is about. Okay. So over the next 6 months, you must become laser focused. Okay. Laser focused. So motivation gets you started, but guys, your habits will keep you going over the next 6 months. Okay. So create habits around them. Don't rely on your motivation, rely on your disciplines, guys. Motivation is like a hot shower. It feels good at the moment, but it goes away. Don't last long. Don't last forever. All right. So number 12, key to transformation, guys, is the power of celebration. This is a good one right here. This is one that a lot of you guys be like, that back in the network marketing days, I'm like, I'm not the rah rah guy. I don't need the rah rah. Well, everybody needs the rah rah. Everybody needs it, right? Everybody needs somebody to celebrate them. And you need to be celebrated just like everybody else needs to be celebrated. You celebrate others, others celebrate you, but everybody needs it. You're human. Remember, when you look at the attention, right? When you look at celebrating somebody, attention, it said babies die for it, men cry. I mean, babies cry for it, men die for it. Attention, right? So when it comes to celebration, guys, most people wait until they reach their final goal to celebrate as well. You got to be able to celebrate at all the checkpoints, right? Over the next 6 months, celebrate your progress, right? Not just your achievements. Celebrate the fact that you speak better, you do a better presentation, you articulate better, right? You can now talk better about Zato. You can talk better about the trading program, or you can talk better about the alkaline water system, or you can talk better about the whatever it is. Again, celebrate your progress, not just your achievements. Okay, so celebration fuels motivation. Okay. So here's something about success that everybody should know. Success leaves clues, right? So the next 6 months, make sure you study the people and read their books, listen to their podcasts, okay? Attend their seminars, become a student of success. When you have somebody who's out there, you see for a fact that they have your answer, not your problems. You see that they have already gone the way that you're looking to go. Okay, ask questions, okay, and don't waste the person's time, right? Don't ask the question if you're not going to do the thing, right? Because this is what happens when you ask a person a question, they give you the actual answer, and then they see that you don't take the information that they gave you and use it. They stop giving you information. Remember, most people are not emotionally sophisticated enough to actually have transactions and interactions with people who are very, very wealthy individuals. No, don't remember, wealthy individuals don't give their time to people. What they do is they see worthy vessels and they invest and pour into that individual, right? Without charging them. A lot of people who are extremely successful, they want to be able to give away, the information. They want to be able to give away their secrets and stuff like that. They want to be able to bless somebody. And again, you want to make sure you prove yourself worthy. So a person say, hey, if you go to JC and ask JC, hey, can you give me a game plan session? I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Well, he might ask you, well, did you do the first game plan session I gave you? Because the game plan session don't change, right? So if Ed Ayala, and Julio Aquino, you come to these guys and ask them, hey man, can you tell me a little bit about X, Y, Z? What, where let me tell you this. That can be found in the trainings, that can be found over here in the archives, that can be found, guys. Again, show that you're useful, show that you're worthy of that information. Make sure you go take the back office and go through the back office. Know the trainings and things that are back there for you. You don't want to have your highest ranking leaders who can really be out here doing some amazing things for you, doing, you know, word I want to use here, minimum wage work, right? These you have 6 and 7 figure earners, asking a minimum wage, answering minimum wage questions. You're calling these people and you're taking up these people's time. What they're saying is this person is not worthy, of the time, right? This person is not, they want everything to be spoon fed to them. They want easy access to everything, microwave access to everything. No, go do the foundational stuff, right? And and now a person will say, you know what? Let me work with you directly. Let me help you. Let me pour into you. Okay. So for things to get better, you got to get better, right? And so, and also, that's the other thing. Stop saying I've done my best, okay? Because when you say I've done my best, that means that's a cop out, okay? What if your best wasn't good enough? Okay, you got to make your best better. If you do your best on your job and they gave you a job to do, you didn't get that job done, and every time they talk to you, you keep doing your best, but nothing happens, nothing gets resolved. Guess what happened? You get fired, and they don't find somebody with a best that's better than yours. They're going to find somebody with a qualifying best. That's why they call it personal development, right? And so the person who continues to grow and continues to elevate, their that financial that personal development thermostat, guys, that person not only qualifies for that job, but they also qualify to fire that boss in that job at some point. You gotta grow your way out of a job. You gotta grow your way into a situation. And I'm gonna just tell you, you can't do that by following people who work where you work. You can't do that, by listening to a professor, that's making 70, $80,000 a year out of college, talking about making millions of dollars. A person can't take you where they've never been, right? That's why you have to listen to these audios. You have to listen to these, you have to read these books. You have to go to these seminars. You have to go out there and invest. I talked about that last week where you invest more on the outside of your head than you do on the inside of it. Okay. So let's make sure we do that, guys. That's very, very important. But what you'll see is this: everything will stop being a complaint. Okay, you'll stop wishing things got easier. Okay, and you'll just wish that you had another skill, a higher level skill. You'll stop begging for a lighter load, and you'll go out there and develop a stronger back. Right? You'll stop asking your upline to do everything, and you'll start doing it yourself. Right? So you'll start to see, something that you can celebrate in yourself and get excited about, when it comes to your progression and not regression. If you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. Okay. The 13th key to transformation, guys. This key is what I call the power of contribution. Okay. You see, success without contribution is an empty achievement and over the next 6 months, you want to make sure you find a way to add value to other people's lives. Okay. That's very, very important. See, you create for others. The more you create for others, the more valuable you actually become. Okay. So, matter of fact, here's something fascinating about wealth. Your income rarely exceeds your personal development, like I just said a minute ago. But if you want to earn more, you must learn more over the next 6 months. You must become more. You must increase your value to society, right? In order for a society to pay you more. Right. So like give you an example. If you have in network marketing has all these different things that people that have to do to be successful. There are some people who are amazing inviters, some people who are amazing presenters, amazing trainers, amazing recruiters, and what ends up happening is when you master something, door knockers, when you master something, that is now something you can teach. And if you can teach it, you can create a class for it. If you can create a class for it, you can create an app for it. If you can create an app for it, you can create, a podcast for it. If you can create a podcast for it, you can create a membership for it. If you can create a membership for it, you can get filthy, stinking, hog, nasty, rich just off of that one thing that you actually mastered. So what if you mastered a couple of different things one at a time? Okay. You become the person that you admire. You become these seven-figure earners like the Pachecos who built massive organizations, like Winston Navarro, who's done over $1 billion in sales. Okay. It's not by accident, that's on purpose. They stack their skill sets, right? And that's what it is. It's about, the power of contribution. So anytime they're teaching somebody, remember the person who teaches learns the most, right? So anytime you learn something, master something, now you teach it to somebody, you get better at it. I used to tell my people all the time, and Carly will tell you, Angel will tell you, a lot of Dale Boudreaux will tell you, they'll tell you that when I train them, I stopped getting offended. At first, I used to get offended. Way back in the day when I was young in leadership, I would get offended because I would teach people how to do something and they wouldn't do it. Right? I would teach people how to do something, and the people outside of my group who, they didn't get that type of teaching and trainings, they would actually do it. The people who were in my group. So I used to tell my team, so you know what? I'm going to teach it because me teaching you gets me better. And what I'm doing is I'm increasing my value. And as I increase my value, I become more attractive to the person who I really do need on my team. Right. And so I'm going to train y'all. Y'all ready to learn from it, but eventually I'm going to earn from it. So I'm going to keep training. Whether you take it or not, it's on you. Right. And so that's just being honest. That's just being wide open and genuine. Right. Somebody out there is looking for you to evolve. Somebody is out there that's waiting for you to actually get to a point where you can make contributions into their life, to where you can pour into them your experiences and help them get to the next level in their life. There's some people out there who are tired of making four figures a month. They're ready to get to five, and they can't do it on their own because they don't know how. It's somebody who's sick and tired of having two jobs, but they're waiting for somebody like you to come pour into their life and help them fire one boss and then eventually another one, right? As you have to be able to go to people with your hands like this instead of your hands like this. When you walk up to people with your hands like this, you're begging, you're asking for somebody, you're expecting someone to do something for you. When you go with your hands like this, you're expecting to give, not receive. Okay, so go out there and exercise, the power of making contribution, right? Because if you when you look at that contribution, when you make a blessing, you pour into people, it's going to come back, to you. Maybe not from a lot of times, many times, not from that place where you sowed that seed. It'll come back from other places, right, that you were not expecting. Trust me. There are many teams because I'm the type of person when I got into a company back in the day, um, I would see people, they would be doing all this networking with the people in other people's groups all the time. And then they would do a lot of networking outside the company as well. And what I found out, that was basically building up that pipeline and building up that pool of contacts and resources, building relationships. So when they left a company, they would take the people who were in other groups from the company, and then they would also recruit people outside the company who were looking for a place. And for me, I never ever really expected to leave a company that I was in. I just thought the companies that I was in were the best companies in the world, and I had great leadership. So at that point in time, even if the company wasn't that good, I wasn't going to leave my leader. I just wasn't going to do it, right? But what I did do was I worked with people in everybody's group. And you hear this book come up 100% of the time, 360-degree leader. I help people in everybody's group. I help people all over the whole entire company, right? I literally, in certain situations, was the master distributor in the company. I just didn't get paid for it. I didn't have the position. I didn't have the overflow. I didn't have the spillover. I didn't have the salary. I didn't have the percentage. I didn't have any of that except for, my passion for helping people. You see somebody out there who's, making it happen. They're coming to events. They're getting on these calls, and that person's losing because they don't have access to the right person. I can't turn my back on an individual like that, right? And not knowing the whole entire time that when I poured into these people, these will be the same people years later because my steps are ordered and my steps were ordering me out of these different companies to get to where I'm at now. And I'm just saying, every company that I went to, I had people that I had poured into in other groups that when they were in different companies, they came to where I was at based on how I treated them, how I invested in time in them and did get paid for it. Right. And so now it's still coming back tenfold. We have people who are joining this company right now based on the contributions that we made into people without looking for a return. Hey, people remember that, right? They know for a fact that if they can't trust anybody in the industry, they can trust you because you helped them for nothing. Right? So again, just don't make your contributions transactional. Okay. Make them deposits into people. Right? Deposits that matter, deposits that'll come back, based on them being blessed and they pay you tenfold, hundredfold, and they take care of you and your family for the rest of your life. If you put everybody else's family first, guys, your family will never be last. Right? Just telling you. That's exactly why we've had the level of success, consistency, and everything else that we have, guys. This is why we cannot find ourselves in a down place, a out place, a place where we don't have anything at all. It's too many people out there that we poured into for that to happen, and we didn't do it for those reasons. But I'm just telling you, it comes back to put you in a position where um, you never have to worry about money again as long as you live, right? So the 14 key to transformation is what I call the power of decidedness. Okay, the power of decidedness. Okay, so successful people make decisions quickly and they change slowly. Okay, successful people make decisions slowly and they change them quickly. When you look at Dale Carnegie, right? When you look at Napoleon Hill, and this is a story that I mean, when I say I grew up off the story and told the story a million times, and I need to start telling it a million more because you have people who they made bad decisions in their life, and they when they make those bad decisions, they're very very quick to actually quit instead of making that bad decision work. Right? There's some of the decisions that you make, guys, that you can actually, if it wasn't the right decision, but you can make it the right decision. Right? And that's what winners do. But then you look at Napoleon Hill and you look at Dale Carnegie, and Dale Carnegie invited Napoleon Hill, to lunch basically and said, "Hey, look, I got an assignment for you, and this specific assignment, I'm not going to pay you for it. Okay, and so, but I'm going to give you the names, information, phone numbers of all of these extremely rich and wealthy people, and I want you to create a publication to come back and teach the masses." But well, basically, he didn't say he wasn't going to pay for it first. That came the second part, but he gave them the assignment. And he asked him what he'd do it. He said, "Yeah, I would do it." And he answered the question in less than 60 seconds, right? He said, "The second part about this is that I'm not going to pay you for doing it because you'll make so much money based on what you learn, okay, and the people who you help, that you won't have to worry about me paying you. If I actually paid you for doing it, then it would lessen the quality of the work that you're going to put in, and we won't be able to get accomplished what the goal is to get accomplished." And he said, "Would you still accept it and still do it?" In less than 60 seconds, he said yes, not knowing that Dale Carnegie had a stopwatch under the table, just basically clocking him. If he took longer than 60 seconds, guys, the Napoleon Hill, who you know today, you wouldn't know at all. Okay, it would have been somebody else's name. Okay, so you got to make sure that you start making decisions, right? And then making those decisions work. Okay. When somebody asks you what you want to eat, stop saying, "I don't know what you want to eat." Make a decision. Okay. Stop spending 30 minutes in your closet. Just go in your closet, pick something out to wear. You understand what it is. Go out there and pick something wear. Whatever it is, make decisions. Start making really, really good, sound, quick decisions on things that you normally take time for right now that you shouldn't. Okay? It's the small habits that you start to recreate those habits and those behaviors, right? And what'll end up happening, you'll start to see a difference in your life. You'll start to see a difference in level of respect on how people treat you as well. Okay. You don't want to be a confused individual. As a matter of fact, those behaviors, like a lot of the bad habits and a lot of bad behaviors that you have, they're learned behaviors. Right? I give you an example. When you look at funerals, you have people who go to funerals, and you have people who, and again, they some of it honestly is an act, and some of it is learned behavior, and some of it is genuine. You know, you have people who fall in caskets crying and going on and carrying on, and 100% of that is not, for real. Like I said, you can be in remorse, but that's something that they learn as a kid seeing somebody doing that, or as a young adult seeing somebody do that, and they decided to do it because it's a decision, right? It's the same thing when you actually see somebody who you can model that have really really good behaviors, right, and really really good habits. Find out what the habits are, find out what those behaviors are, and decide, right, to do them. Okay, decide to become more decisive. Decide to make decisions faster. Okay, and so you'll see the quality of your life increase, dramatically. Right. So, and there's another thing here when it comes to just a little quote I had over here. It says, "Success is not a destination; it's a direction." Right. Over the next 6 months, focus on moving in the right direction. Okay. Don't worry about perfection. Worry about progress. Progress equals happiness. Okay. Trust me, when you progress, you have accomplishments and things like that, guys. You're happier. You feel better about yourself. Your self-esteem goes up as well, right? Anytime you give yourself tasks that you don't do, you don't accomplish, right? It's like a black mark against your self-esteem. And that's why most people don't put themselves out there with goals and dreams because they don't want to fail themselves. Well, guys, I'm gonna just tell you, again, sometimes no decision is still a bad decision. Because when you didn't decide to be the right person, that was a bad decision. When you didn't decide to make the right decisions, that was a bad decision, right? When you did not decide to change and you decided to actually stay the same, it's a bad decision. It's going to cost you, okay? So just know that if you have kids, you're teaching your kids how to be undecisive. You're teaching your kids how to be unsuccessful. You're teaching your kids how to quit on some things, even though you may be good at other things. That's the thing that I'm really learning now, that I have a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old. They look at me a lot different. When they were kids, they didn't know what they were looking at. Okay. And as they grew up, I have young men that I'm proud of that we're having young men conversations. And because now they have a young man understanding. And I didn't have to poke and prod them. I didn't have to force this on them. I just dripped on them over time, like I drip on y'all. Okay. Again, the game is to be sold, not told. That's why you have a lot of people right now in this information age. They're selling all of the information because they're tired of giving information away to people who are emotionally unsophisticated enough to take the information, process it, and use it. They're not willing to go out there and make it happen, right? So make sure you go out there and make the decision that when a person gives you good information, you process it, you apply it right away, and then you go back and report to them that you actually got a result from it, even if the result was nothing. Oh yeah, I did exactly what you told me. This is what happened. This is what I said. You know, was I supposed to say something different, or could I did something? Could I eliminate something, added something, get some help on it? And next thing you know, when you go do the thing, they'll help you get better at the thing, whatever the thing is. The 15th key to your transformation, guys. This is the power of gratitude. Mm. The power of gratitude. See, man, gratitude turns what we have into enough. Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now, when I know how to be broke. Like I grew up broke. I grew up with nothing. I understood exactly, what having nothing meant. But at the same time, there were times when we had nothing. I was happy. Right. And so it was kind of a blessing to have been broke. So now every step I get closer to a goal, I learn how to appreciate every step on the way to the goal. So when I get to the goal, I'm not unhappy, or I'm not content because I haven't hit my ultimate goal. I know how to celebrate at every goal. I know how to be grateful at every level. At like literally, me just being in a position of leadership, I learned how to be grateful for that. having access to these different calls and different things that I have responsibilities for. I know how to be grateful for that, right? Being able to serve you guys and have these conversations with you guys, that's something for me to be grateful for. Right? I don't take that for granted, right? That's not an entitlement, right? You guys don't have to be here listening to me, right? And that's the thing. I'm grateful that you trust me enough, that you feel enough that there's enough value coming from calls like this that you're even here, right? Because it could be crickets in here. It could be two, three people here. I'm still gonna do the call like it was like 100 to 200 you guys here, but it's just an understanding that you gotta have gratitude before you allow altitude. Okay, some of us got to grow up emotionally. Some of us got to learn how to say thank you for the little stuff. Okay, just telling you, man. This is when I coming from where I grew up and being through what I've been. Like Carly said, the book is crazy because the book, just came out and um, I had a pool party, and at the pool party, I had my friends, my family, that was here, and and I looked around that room. I was grateful for everybody that had been there because it was nothing but love and respect, at that party. And, all of those people had been in my life and around my life at some point in time when I was going through all those peaks and valleys, right? All those highs and lows, right? And so I was happy to just sit there and look at them and say, you know what? Wow, that's my book. A lot of these people are part of my book, right? And so just being grateful that, I'm a person that people want to be around, people respect, again, you got to put yourself in a position where you learn how to be grateful for everything. Like learn how to be grateful for the free stuff, being able to breathe, being able to see, being able to touch, being able to taste, being able to love, being able to be grateful for those things. Learn because some of us are ungrateful. I'm just telling you, some of us are killing our seeds, and what people are pouring into us or what people want to give us, and it's because we're ungrateful, and people can see it. We're entitled, and people can see it, right? Just disrespectful with it, be edifying with it, and so be grateful, guys. Okay. As a matter of fact, there's something fascinating about the human mind, guys. What you appreciate appreciates. Okay, and I hope that makes sense. What you put appreciation in, value grows, there, right? And so it's like when you have a woman, right, and you show her that she's appreciated, right? And that woman, you show a woman that she's or a man that they're appreciated, right? Because I'm just speaking from a position of understanding right now. The more and more I show my wife I appreciate her, the more and more the value of her being my wife grows. She does more. She is more, and she becomes more. And she does it because of joy and happiness, and just grateful that I'm appreciative of her, and I know what she goes through, and all the things that it goes into being a wife and being a mother, right? When you show appreciation to your leaders, right? When you show appreciation to the angels of the world, to the Rod Obies of the world, to the Idrises of the world, to the Urjans and the Jabars of the world. These guys, I'm telling you, the more and more you show appreciation, and gratitude for what they do for you guys and how they show up for you. And that's if they show up for you, right? That's if they serve you, right? The more and more you actually show appreciation for that, the more and more favor you get, right? The more and more things people are happier to do for you, right? And so, one of the guys, my old friend by the name of Cosmos, when we was in a coffee company, Cosmos, he had this thing where he tell people, he said, "How you get to $50,000 a month?" He said, "I don't know nothing. All I know is I tell people about the coffee, and I have my friend do the presentation. They sign up. I do it again." And he was just real humble. And Cosmos had everybody in the company working for him. Cosmos wasn't in my group. Cosmos actually made at one point in time, mate was making more money than me. But he would call me and say, "Hey, my friend, can you do an event for me?" And I would go. He lives in Dallas. I lived in Houston. I would drop, me and my wife would go up to Dallas and do an event for him, right? Because he was humble, because he was appreciative, right? He was grateful, right? He was just a good spirited person, good hearted person that people wanted to help. He had everybody in the company working for him, right? Because of him and how he carried himself. And I'm just telling you guys, just don't be a know-it-all. Just go out there and appreciate it all, and watch how things change. Just fall into a state of humility, right? Allow people to speak and pour into you. Allow people to nurture you and cultivate you and really mold you. Because if you don't make six figures and never made six figures, you don't know how. And so stop talking like you do. Okay. Stop behaving as if you're the expert already. Stop interjecting and putting yourself in places that you don't qualify and to talk in, right? Let people see you for where you're at so they can see your growth and where you're going. Okay. So for me, people who show me appreciation, yeah, I pour into those individuals even more. Other than that, they got the system. You can get on the calls. You got access to me to the calls, like this. Whatever calls we do, you got access to me at events. But people who don't appreciate me, I don't do the toleration thing. So I go places where I'm appreciated, not tolerated. And if you one of those individuals who I feel like you just tolerate me or it's whatever, shit, we don't have access. You don't have access to me, and vice versa. Okay? Don't give people access to you who will de-edify you or be disrespectful to you, even indirectly, right? So you owe anybody anything, okay? So again, I'm just happy, that there's a position where I can look at, the owners of the company and say, I appreciate you guys, and they know I appreciate them, okay? And so put yourself in a position where, guys, you be appreciated, and people be grateful that you actually did something, for them, without expecting, something in return. Right? But the more gratitude you express, guys, the more reasons you have to be grateful. Just let me share you something powerful with you guys about personal transformations. Inevitable growth is optional over the next 6 months. Choose growth, choose development, choose progress. The choice is yours, and the time is now. Okay, and so let's see here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything here. But yeah, yeah. What will happen, guys? It won't be by accident. It'll be by design. Your design. Like I said last week, you are today exactly where you made an appointment to be 90 days ago and 6 months ago. 6 months from now, right? 6 months from now, you're gonna be somewhere. Okay. Um, Not nowhere. You'll be somewhere. You'll be exactly where we found where we left you, or you'll be exactly where we're going. And that decision is going to be on you. If you haven't seen what's happening right now, you haven't been a part of the buzz that's happening right now in the company, and you haven't put yourself in a position where you've been on any of the Zooms, the launches, the training calls, the trading calls. You've done yourself a disservice, but this is a forgiving industry. You can always draw a line in the sand, start over from scratch, and say the day is day one, right? Okay. So, with that being said, guys, definitely love everybody here to take a moment, okay, and send a text message to the WhatsApp. This is what we do. I got an assignment for y'all, right? Send a message to the WhatsApp group. This is how you let everybody know they should have been here, or to make sure that they go back and watch the training based on how you guys reply. So 6 months from now, okay, I will be 6 months wealthier. And I'm not talking about financially. Just say 6 months from now, I will be 6 months wealthier. Send that in the WhatsApp chat to the main group, right? That's your declaration. That means that you're going to evolve. That means that you're going to change. That means that you're going to grow. That means that you're going to serve. That means that you're going to work. That means you're going to build. That means you're going to learn. You're going to trade. Whatever it is you're going to do, 6 months from now, I will be 6 months wealthier. Okay. 6 months from now, I will be 6 months wealthier. That's the declaration. While you're typing it, write it down. Make sure you say it every day. Because again, what you're telling yourself, guys, again, you are now navigating yourself. You're now telling your brain exactly what to do, what direction to go in. And 6 months from now, you'll be a wealthier person. Okay. So love you guys. Look forward to seeing your text messages in the group, hearing that thing go buzz. And but 6 months from now, I'm looking forward to seeing each and every last one of you guys in a different place, in a wealthier space. You know, as leaders with teams, with trading communities, with travel communities, with solar communities, whatever it is, whatever you're here to build, we're here to build it with you. So Saturday, don't forget. Project 300. Let's get 300 people in that event on Saturday. You don't want to miss it because you want to be one of the 100, but you don't want to be by yourself. You want to make sure your entire team has the option to say yes or no on Saturday. And that, I'm guaranteeing you, if they're going to be there, it's going to be a yes. So take care, guys. See you guys at the top. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Recording stop.